1, 2, 3. We can multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. So who can remember what have we been using when multiplying? We've learned a couple different strategies. Give me one strategy, Liberty.
The bow tie.
The bow tie method or the standard algorithm. What's the other method that we've been talking about, Spencer? The box method. Remember, you are able to use whichever strategy works for you the best. I use the standard algorithm. I think it's the fastest. But if you are thinking the box method works better for you, that is perfectly okay. I'm going to give an office expectations reminder. Erase your boards with the markers at the top, please. Okay, so remember, when we're using the standard algorithm, here are our long steps, right? But they're easier to remember when we're actually solving them. The major thing we have to remember is that we line our numbers up by place value. That we're always starting in the ones place, okay? So here's my teacher think time. Remember, when I have a problem that's written out this way, I need to write it vertically by place value. So I have 41 times 23. I always start in my ones place. I can cover this 2 and pretend like that 2 isn't even there and solve this just like I would a 2-by-1 problem. I know in a 2-by-1 I'd start with my 3 times 1. And I know that 3 times 1 is 3. Then, just like I would in a 2-by-1, 3 times 4 gives me 12. If this were a 2-by-1 problem, I would be finished. We know it's not though because we have this 2. What place is that 2 in? Tell me out loud on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
10.
The tens place. So since it's in the tens place, I need to add a 0 to my ones place as a placeholder. Remember, that step is easily forgotten. We always have to remember, since it's in the tens place, I've got to add that placeholder 0. So now what I can do, if it helps you, you can pretend like that 3 isn't even there because it's finished. I know I multiply by ones place first. 2 times 1 is 2. And then I complete my bow tie, if we're pretending like that 3 isn't even there. 4 times 2, and 4 times 2 gives me 8. My last step that I have is to add my 2 numbers together to get my product. Starting in the ones place, 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus 2 is 4, 1 plus 8 is 9. So 41 times 23 is 943. Okay, this next one I'd like you to solve with me. I'm going to have some friends come up to the board, but I would also like everyone to be writing the problem together. So we've got a we do of 64 times 45. So on your whiteboards, I should see everyone writing out 64 times 45 vertically, lining up those place values. I'm going to pull a stick. Who can tell me where I need to start? Avery H., where do I start with this problem?
With multiplying 4 times 5.
Right, multiplying 4 times 5. I can pretend like that first 4 isn't there. I'm just worried about that 5. Raise your hand. You can tell me what is 4 times 5, Gabby? 20. So I write my 0 in my ones place, and I'm going to carry my 2. What step is next? Turn and tell your partner. You may go. Coming back in 3, 2, 1. What's my next step? Caitlin?
6 times 5.
Yep, 6 times 5. And I know that 6 times 5 is 30. Can I write out 30 and be finished?
No.
No, why not? Who can tell me? Emma. I have to add the 2, so I have 32. I can write out my 32 because I'm finished with my 5 because I've multiplied it by both my numbers already. I need to do my next step. Remember, this is a step that's easily forgotten. Tell your group what it is.
Placeholder 0.
Placeholder 0. So I'm going to add that placeholder 0 because I'm moving into the tens place. I'm gonna pretend like that 4 isn't even there, or that 5 isn't even there. I'm just gonna worry about that 4. I know I multiply by the ones place first. So 4 times 4. Raise your hand if you can tell me what 4 times 4 is, Lainey. 16. Gonna write my 6 and carry my 1. If it's helpful for you, it is for me sometimes, I'm gonna cross out that 2 to help me remember that I've already used it. Last but not least, I have to complete my bow tie. How do I complete that bow tie, Wyatt? 6 times 4. On the count of 3, tell me what 6 times 4 is. 1, 2, 3.
25. 4.
24, but plus 1 then gives me 25. So I write out my 25. Now we're going to add them together. I know that 0 plus 0 is 0. Out loud, what's 2 plus 6? 8. What about 3 plus 5?
8.
And then bring down my 2. So 64 times 45 is 2,880. Okay, we're gonna move on. The next one's gonna be a to-do. I want to see you working with your partner. Remember, I should see both partners working together to solve. You should not raise your boards until you and your partner have finished working together. You and your partner may finish. If you finish early, you may move on to the early finishers below. Please anybody work at the table since Danielle isn't here today. No, just the first one.
No.
36.
Or 5 times 2.
Now we're gonna have that placeholder. Wait, no, we're not done yet.
You forgot to do. We did already do
We forgot to add the. So 36 plus 4 equals 40.
I think we're supposed to have a 6 times 2. There's this one.
And then placeholder 0. Oh, too late.
And then put the 9 times 4 is 13.
And then cross that out.
Wait, no.
And then 5 times 2
9
equals
1, 2, 3,
10.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And then this is 8.
12.
And then we'll just add this together. So 8. 500. Okay.
Yes.
You got it?
If you finished earlier, I'd like you to try something. No.
Oh, we have to do the plus.
Okay, ready?
30.
Not quite, girls. I think there's an error in there. Second set of problems. So check what you did when you were multiplying by the tens place.
So that one was 400. And the next one would be some 5 times, 2 times, 4 times 2. No. Wait. 4 times 2. We'll go like that and then you go down and then
No, okay, I know that most of you were finished, so we're going to move on. If you didn't finish, that's okay. We're going to go over it together. I want you to place your eyes facing forward, especially if you did not get the problem correctly. Liberty, you're checking your work with fine. So I start in that ones place of 9 times 5 is 45. I write my 5 and carry my 4. Then I have my 9 times 4. 9 times 4 is 36. But I have to add that 4, and 36 plus 4 is 40. So 405. I'm not finished quite yet though, because I haven't done anything with my 2 in the tens place. Since it's the tens place, I'm going to add my placeholder 0. Remember, pretending like that 9 isn't even there. 2 times 5 is 10. Write my 0. Carry my 1. Last step, 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 1 is 9. Now I can add together to get 1,305. Thumbs up if that's the answer you and your partner got. Thumbs up if now that you've seen my work, you know where the mistake was that you made. Awesome job. Okay, this last one's going to be a you do. I want you to try it on your own. Holding up that board when you finish. You may go.
Mrs. Mitchell,
Yes.
do you have a lunch count for me?
Yes, I already entered it.
All right, I'll check again.
Okay,
Thanks.
thanks. Remember, if you need that multiplication,
Sorry to bother you.
that's
It's not showing up on the computer. Can you tell it to me? Do you still have it?
sure. Daniela Munakazi is absent today. And then I had, do you guys remember? 2 alt.
No.